Welcome hunters, today I have a guide for Monster Hunter Frontier ZZ. In today's guide we'll be covering character creation and Hunter Rank 1. First thing, we will be selecting server. I will use Renewal as it's my current home server. Very comfy. Next, let's turn on High Grade Edition. Mine is enabled. If your computer has trouble running the game, try deactivating it. Now create a user ID and password. Anything works, it will create an account automatically. And now proceed to press login. Once it is done loading, we will press start game and press yes and begin the game. Alright, first thing we'll do is turn down the music a bit so that you can hear the voices in the character creation. Some of the voices are actually done by popular anime voice actors, including the voice of Dio from JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, Levi from Attack on Titan, Perfect Cell from Dragon Ball Z, and more. Alright, now to start the game and create our character, there are two options, Quick Start and Start Game. Start Game lets you select world and land manually. Quick Start automatically does the selection for you. Press accept, and now it's time to create a character. I already know how I want mine to look and sound. Next is select a starting weapon. This doesn't matter as much as they make you think because you will get all the weapons in your box for free anyway. Pick anything except sword and shield. Picking sword and shield turns on simple mode in the controls, and they are very confusing. I'm gonna start with hammer because I have plans. Plans that include a lot of kinetic trauma. Alright, we are finally in town, decked out in our new armor with our hammer. The NPC talking to us is the instructor, and he will be helping us throughout Hunter Rank 1. As soon as he is done talking, the navigation will pop up. Think of it as an instruction book for the game and a lot of the mechanics. We will cover more of it later. This pop-up here is the jump menu and will allow you to travel around the square easier. You would press L3 to activate it. Speaking of controls, let's work on that. You might find your controls feel a bit weird. No worries, let's fix that in the menu real quick. You can hit escape on your keyboard to open the menu, go to options, then press input options, and we're going to key settings. It will start on classic mode. I recommend switching it to portable mode. This will fix most confusion on controllers. Alternatively, you can keep it on classic mode and set your controls manually. I personally don't recommend doing this, but it does work for some people. Next, we're going to activate some courses. Press insert on your keyboard to open the chat, and then type in !course, and then the following course you wish to unlock. It will pop up saying course enabled or course disabled if you already had it active. The most important courses include Premium, Extra, and Net Cafe. These courses will unlock important features in the game. Keep in mind that course availability will be different depending on server. I recommend asking in the community Discord of the server you're playing in. There is also the !timer command to see hunt time. Next, we will be making sure the courses are all active in our status. Press escape on your keyboard or start on your controller to open the menu, and we will go down to status. Open status and go in personal status, and then we look through the pages. It should be on page 2. There we go. Next, we'll be looking at Hunter's Navi. Open the menu and select Hunter's Navi. We're going to go in the HR tab and just take a quick look. Hunter's Navy is basically a simple tutorial, and it also gives you rewards you can claim for both reading it and for completing the different tasks it suggests. Some of the important stuff you can get from the Navi early on is a bunch of checks, which is basically free money for you to continue through the game with. The checks will be in the HR tab at the top there. I recommend claiming them and selling them later. Next, we'll be going to your house. When facing the center of the square, it will be to the left here. Interacting with this entrance, you will see a menu on the top left. Select your house. And the first thing we'll be looking at in here is your item box. It's the box to the right here. Again, approaching the box, there will be a menu at the top left with multiple options. We're just going to use the item box. Here you can store items, take out items from inside your box, manage your equipment, including making presets and changing decoration. Pressing change equipment brings up quest gear and town set. Town set is only decoration. Quest gear is your actual equipment you're using. As you can see, they provided a variety of weapons for you to try out. Be sure to experiment and try out all the weapons and see what you can find. Maybe you'll find a favorite. But I'm gonna stick to my hammer for now. In the future, remember the equipment preset options as it saves decorations as well. In Manage Items, you can organize your item box manually or press Select for automatic sorting. In the Sell Items menu, you can sell anything in your item box. Be sure to sell those tickets I mentioned earlier. In Item Sets, you can make sets of items in your inventory and then preset them, and then all you'll have to do is a single button press to load that set again. For example, loading in Item Set 1 allows you to just press L1 on your controller to automatically load the item set. If it shows blue when you load the item set, all the items are available. If it shows red, then something is missing. Make multiple item sets for different situations is my recommendation. The extra box basically functions as warehouse storage. And lastly, we have combining from box, where you can combine items inside your item box together to see what you can get. Alright, next we're going to look at the bookshelf back here. This is where you can apply your titles and change your house decor, once you upgrade the house, of course. Other features include allowing other players, if you invite them into your house, to see your kill counts and total hunts. There is tutorial pages in here, but as of right now, they aren't translated. Moving on, we have the cat over here, who is your waiter. He will serve you food if you order it at the table. And he'll give you some free iron ore for talking to him the first time. Speaking of food, let's order some right now. Sit at your table and your waiter will come to your aid. He will ask if you're sure you want something to eat, look at all the food available and the buffs they can give, choose whatever you like. It will display the price for the meal and just accept when you're ready. I hope you know what kind of guts are in that fried rice you're about to eat. Oh well. Now that you've eaten, you can see the effects in your personal status and when you go on quest. Delicious. Now that we've had our delicious meal, let's get some sleep. At your bed, you can actually enter a dream mode and test out attacks like you're in a quest. This is great for practicing your controls. In fact, we're going to talk about some of those controls. Choose a weapon and then select your style. We're going to stick with Earth style since that's the only style you have at the start of the game. More styles will be unlocked at HR5 and G. However, if you wish, you can still try them out here in sleep mode. Alright, welcome to Dreamland. Don't worry, no one here is real, so no one can hear them scream. Let's practice some attacks. First off, you should see some controls on the right side of your screen. They'll tell you how to do your attacks. If you don't see controls, you can go into options and go to quest display options here. Make sure the control guide is turned on. There are also many other options in here for you to look through. Be sure to check them all and make sure you got the control settings to your preference. Next, let's look at input controls again. There are many options here that you can toggle that will make your hunting life easier. Notably the evade camera, depending on how you like to play. When it comes to gunners, these options are extremely important. Let's look at that real quick. By default, light bowgun locks you in place in first person and lets you turn the camera around. However, if you change the bowgun camera type to type 2 and your aiming type to type 2 as well, now you are a walking first person shooter. You can walk around, evade, and shoot, all while staying in first person. This is personally one of my favorite bowgun features in this game. When you've had your fun and you're ready to exit Dreamland, press the start menu and then press retire at the bottom. You will awaken right at home, right where you last were, and you'll find that it was all just a dream. Next, we're going to check on our pet wyvern and get us a cat. Walk over to the exit of your house, and we are going to go to support. It is here you will find the Halk instructor, your Halk, and where to hire your cat. This large creature here is your Halk. He will be your companion throughout the entire game. A large flying companion, the Halk can be trained to spit fireballs, beam attacks, and even have venomous claws. You can also train it to use a map and spot monsters for you through skill books, which will be dropped during hunts. Next, let's talk to the Halk instructor. He will have many options to help you customize your little bird. First on the list, we have status, where you can see his stats and element, as well as status, like poisons and paralysis. You want to train your Halk to fill in all these stats till a bar is completely full. When all stat bars are full, the Halk will transform and level up. However, upon opening training, you can see you can only train one stat at a time. I personally prefer intelligence first, just a personal preference. Next, we're going to name the Halk. This is not very important. I just prefer to name mine Dervin, the name of an old friend of mine. R.I.P. buddy. Kashab remembers you. Next is skill book settings, and this is where you will apply skills, when you have any. Keep in mind, some skills will be locked behind certain quest types in the future. And now finally, let's hire a cat. Customize the appearance of your cat to your personal preference. The type of cat you get, as in healing, trapping, stealing, will be randomized, as well as their mood or behavior. Temper, really. Now, cats do something special in this game they don't do in others. If you bring them with you in a quest, they will double your item breaks. Like, if you break a monster's head, you will get double the head breaks. Another special feature is that they will have an extra inventory that increases as they level up. This inventory does not conflict with yours, so you can hold 10 mega potions and soak in your cat, and you can trade mid-quest. This is especially useful if you're a gunner. Now that we have our cat, we can go to this board right here, and we will make sure to go to the first option here, accompany settings, and set our cat to follow. That way they will actually join us in quest. The other options in here include checking your cat's status, equipment, and more. In the future, you can add skills to your cat. I'm gonna be frank with you, cats are not very strong in this game, but their skills and their abilities are extremely useful. The other options on the board here won't be useful to you for now. For special training, you'll need to get special items. For dispatch options, you need to be in a guild or have your tour upgraded. Changing behavior also needs a guild, and giving a present requires special items as well. Next, we'll be covering our garden. It's not as important or as rewarding as other games most of the time, but you still can come here and get free items after every hunt. Another feature is you can have a pet duck here, and that will unlock a lot of features in the future. Most of them you may or may not use. Walking into the garden here, you'll go to this cat up here on the stump. He's your manager, and you'll select one of these options and you'll get items related to what you pick. Come back and do this after every hunt. On the top left, you'll have the option to send items straight to your box and then finish. You can buy tools to increase their yield. In the back here, we have the cat that will be taking care of your duck in the future, but that's a story for another time. And over here, this cat right here, they will let you transfer items between characters on your account if you wish. You can store items in here and then pick them up on another character. Now that we've inspected our garden, let's head back to the square. Next to the entrance of your house, you will find the general store right here. Talk to the lady in the middle here, and she will give you a menu. We are going to select buy, and then we're going to select basic. In here you can buy potions, whetstones, and traps. In books you can find house upgrades and monster info. In ammo you can find ammo. In tools you can find pickaxes, bug nets, and explosives. The PvP option is locked until later. And lastly, we have special, which includes many variety of items. Back to the main store menu, there's buy from box and GCP store. In GCP store, you can spend guild contribution points for monster parts and items. You obtain these over time. Or alternatively, you can redeem certain tickets for points. Next is Net Cafe benefits. Careful when claiming the Net Cafe Daily Boost. It gives you a Halk potion effect which does 80% reduced damage, which is kind of a pay to win effect. The other options you should check to claim points so that you can buy items later. The general store also includes a gacha coin store. Keep in mind that all gacha is free on this server. And you can obtain coins from certain quests, I believe. Next is farm and furniture. This is where you can buy furniture for your gallery. We'll cover that later. And where you can buy upgrades for your farm that I mentioned previously in the garden. Your gallery is a customizable, decoratable room you can use. While it used to serve a higher function, it's now mostly just for decorating and fun. Before I forget, don't forget to claim your daily special here so that you can do a daily quest at the quest lady later. Next, we're going to go look at the combiner. The combiner can combine any items you already unlocked the recipe for by combining it yourself. What makes him special is he can bulk combine. You can combine 99 items all at once. You have to pay him for it though. He also has special combines for other items. Not too useful right now, but further along the line they will be interesting. What is interesting and that you should keep in mind is the amulets here, or charms, depending on translation you got. These things are incredibly useful in your future, especially the two-tone charm or double color charm. He will also function to help you farm hidden, which we will explain much later. And lastly, he also sells some items that help you combine. Next, we're going to walk on over to the grocery store lady over here. This is where you choose meals for your entire hunting team. First, we're going to look in the option buy here. In here, you can find all the ingredients you would want for cooking. But before we buy anything, let's set our bento settings. We want to use this. That way we can easily register meals for hunting. We're going to select Hunter Bento and then choose a bento. Whenever you choose a bento meal, it affects everyone who joins your quest. So one person pays for the whole meal and everyone gets the effects. Just like at home, you can see the price for the food. However, if you already have the ingredients, you don't really have to pay much more. Choose yes here to accept your meal, and then it will apply on the next quest you post. Warning, however, if you leave the lobby, it no longer applies. This includes even going to your house or anywhere else in the square. Next, we're going to go to the workshop right here to the right of the square. Here is where we'll make and upgrade equipment going through the game. Upon entering the first time, the Smithy's assistant will greet you. She's telling you about equipment that's available, but don't worry about that too much. First things first, we're going to walk straight up to the Smithy right here in the middle, and then talk to him. He's going to express his greetings and tell you about his job. And as soon as he's done talking about that, the menu will open with the classic weapons, armor, decorations, and other stuff. We're going to select weapons, and we're going to focus on the create and upgrade tabs. First of all, let's create something, and we're going to look in hammers. Here you can see a list of all the different hammers you could make. You can compare strengths and weaknesses of your weapons, as well as press the highlighted material info button when looking at the materials, and they can tell you where to find them. For example, it says you can go to mining in the jungle for iron ore. Or if I go down on the list and look at the crystal hammer, you can see that it says I have to go to the swamp for light crystals. Mining in the jungle for malachite ore, the tidal islands for ice crystal, keep in mind this has to be at night, and jewel tickets, which it doesn't display, but specifically you have to deliver giant chunks of ore. Next, we're going to look in armors. We're going to create armor. And let's just have a look at how armor functions real quick. First thing, there's a difference between blade armor and gunner armor. Blade armor always has higher defense. Gunner armor has higher element resistance. The materials can be the same, but if you're using a melee weapon, you can't equip gunner armor. Another thing is the skills on gunner and blade armor can be different. Something to keep in mind though is this does not apply to helmets. Helmets work for either blade or gunner. If you press the preview armor, you can see what it looks like on you. Not bad, but not quite what I'm looking for right now. Next, we're going to go back and look at upgrading armor. This will open your equipment box, and inside we can select a piece of armor, and you can look at the materials needed to upgrade it and how much defense it will gain. If you upgrade a piece of armor 7 times, this unlocks the F level upgrade, as well as variations sometimes like subspecies armor for different monsters. These upgraded versions of the armor have different skills than the original piece you started with. Sometimes it's just improved skill points. Next, we're looking at decorations. Decorations are jewels you can put on your armor in slots to add skill points. As we just started the game, we don't have any available. Next, we are looking at skill cuffs, and skill cuffs are for your Poogie, which we also don't have available yet. We'll come back to this later. Lastly, we have the popular tab, and this displays, well, what's popularly being used, including the weapon we're about to go get, the Infinity Mace, a very good starter weapon. Not super strong, but strong enough to carry you all the way to HR3 potentially. You will find better weapons though. However, this one will be very easy to acquire. Next, we're going to look at popular armor to see our next target, Kukubo armor. Keep in mind, just like the rules stated before, there's a blade and gunner version with different skills each respectively. We're going to be going for the blade version since I'm using a melee weapon, and that's enough basic information for the smith for now. To the left here, we have a cat that's also a smithy. They can make armor and weapons for the cat we just hired. Just like our equipment, their equipment can have slots and have decorations placed in them to have skills. They're not the strongest though, so I personally recommend if you're going to make them equipment, Go for equipment that has some slots so that you can put skills that are good for supporting you yourself rather than the cat. Acquiring these decorations can be quite complicated at first as well as materials for some of the armors and weapons, but we'll cover that in the future. For now, we're going to cover the general store that's in the smithy. Even veterans forget this is here. Here you can find all of the facilities that were over in the general store area, as well as the ability to buy armor and weapons for just money. No materials needed here, though you will not find the highest of quality over here either. You can, however, make some decent starting sets mixing stuff available over here over time. Basic weapons as well, though the weapons are much less interesting when you buy them over here. Going into her general store functions, you got a mix of the combiner and the actual general store lady all at once over here. Even the GCP shop is available from this room. Lastly, we have a mostly untouched option. It's the warehouse. If you ever need emergency storage from filling all your box space, you can store items in here and then remove them from the warehouse later. While in the warehouse, you don't have access to use the items in any form until you remove them. And lastly, all the way to the left of the smith, we will cover the fact that you get a box in here as well, where you can check your items and change your equipment freely. That about sums up what you need to know to start this off. There are a few other things, but we'll cover them in the future. For now, though, it's time to take everything we've learned and go to action. While this hunt will be extremely easy as your first hunt, I do recommend bringing a flash bomb just to practice throwing them. As you will find, flash bombs are actually extremely useful going through the game. Next, just like we practiced before, we're going to pick a meal. I selected my lunch this time, and I chose a meal with the buff I prefer. Finally, we are going to talk to the quest lady here. She's been waiting for us this whole time. Navi popped up because we finally talked to her. It wanted us to talk to her a while ago, but we kinda had stuff to deal with. Now with the menu finally open, we're gonna go to other quests, gear acquisition quests. In here, we will see the newbie weapon quest, which is a Velocidrome hunt. On page 4 of the info, we can see the sprout ore that is needed to craft our infinity weapon. Select the quest and say you were sure. On this last page, we can select number of players and check our food, confirm, and let's get ready to rumble. But before then, I forgot some of the basics. I need to make sure that I bought some potions and some whetstones. There we are. I'm missing some whetstones. Next, we're going to walk over towards the exit. And don't forget, you can also check items right here at a box next to the quest exit. This includes being able to press a button and immediately get the item set you created earlier. And finally, we go up here, process the quest, and depart. It's time for the action to begin, finally. Alright, the gang's all here. The instructor, your cat, some random extra dude, and we're gonna go to the blue box and grab some of the free stuff, especially the paintballs. They don't sell those in the general store for some reason. First thing we're gonna do is throw a flash bomb in his face because Velocidromes generally don't move when they're blind. This makes things much easier. And then I'm gonna use my hammer to KO him and make him dizzy. You'll see even more stars on his head, and he's even more immobile. The NPCs will start cutting, and in a moment, he will be destroyed. Simple, clear cut, easy. Walk over and start carving your prize. I did mention the cats might be a little useless early on. Don't mind that. I swear they get better. Not by much. Now for our rewards. We're gonna press send to item box. Oh, we got 2 sprout ore. I didn't know that was possible. Oh well, bonus. As you go through the pages, you can see different ways you can get rewards. My cat got a claw. That'll be useful. Alright, I'm gonna send all items to the box and finish up. Here you can see our total money reward, earned points, cat ranked up, the size of our monster, and a title. Oh, and I almost forgot GCP, which I believe is earned by every 2 minutes in quest though. So we didn't really get any. Now let's return to the smith. It's time to upgrade our weapon selection. Just like before, we're going to go to weapons, and we're going to go to hammer, and this time, let's see, where's the infinity hammer on the list? Here we go. Time for that upgrade. 1 sprout ore. We got 2, so I'm probably going to make another weapon as well. Alright, we're going to equip our new weapon, and it's time to wrecking ball everything. Be sure to check Navi every now and then. We're unlocking a lot of free stuff. Next, let's look at what we need to upgrade this hammer. That's quite the jump in damage, but it looks like we don't have the materials. Let's take a look at where to get said materials. Ooh, HR3. Well, we're not getting that upgrade right now. We're only HR1, Hunter rank 1 to be clear. But what about the second weapon I'm going to make? Personally, I'm going to make a gun lance, because gun lance can shoot straight through armor. And unlike many other games in the same series, the strength of your ammo actually is dependent on the strength of your weapon's attack power, which means the scaling of damage from shelling is not only related to the shelling level. Remember this, because this can be used to just shoot through a monster's armor without really any concern about where you're hitting. Very useful in the future. Next, it's time to get us some armor. We're gonna get that Kakubo armor, but let's see, what do we need for it again? Smooth vertebrae. And it says it comes from gear acquisition quests, which means we have to go to the same tab that we got the infinity weapon materials from at the quest lady. Remember, get your food prepped, choose your meal, and we're going to go talk to Eunice, the quest lady, once again. Gear acquisition quest just as before, but instead we're going to do the newbie armor quest. Page 4 here says it gives a smooth vertebrae, so off we go. However, I remembered I might want to bring another item here. Traps are very useful against Kutku, especially pitfall traps. Sonic bombs are also effective in making it stand still when it's not enraged. This can give you time to place a trap under its body as well. Off to start our quest, and here we go again. Kutku is a very easy target as well, but be careful, it's a lot stronger than Velocidrome was. Prepare your sonic bombs. And boom! Now he can't hear anything and his ears are hurt. He won't move. Place a trap. Proceed to tenderizing the chicken. Using the hammer should add a nice dash of KO to your meal, as well as trim the ears. Continue tenderizing until your meal is no longer moving. Once preparation is done, proceed to carve your chicken into bits that you will find useful. In the rewards, you should find the smooth vertebrae you require. 5 of them, actually. Looks like we can make the whole armor set in a single hunt. Useful. The cat got a Kutku scale from the head break. Also useful. Now let's make that armor. It should be in the special armor tab in event. make sure you make the correct armor part. In helmets, the head is for blade masters and the cap is for gunners. However, both can wear either when it comes to the helmet. The skill points won't match up with the rest of the set most likely though if you put the wrong parts on. As for the rest, just make the blade if you're using a blade weapon, and we should have our wonderful new armor. Well, I guess that's one way to make chicken bones look good. And now with this full set of armor, we're ready to take on anything Hunter Rank 1 has for us. Honestly, not too bad looking. However, let's go look at our skills just to make sure. Open the menu and go to status, personal status, and then on page 3 we can see some of our stats, and on page 4 we can see our skills. Evasion +1 is big in this game. A lot of monsters are very quick to attack, and evasion is a lifesaver. Recovery items up will help us heal easier. The other last two are negatives though. We lose stamina faster in cold weather, and monsters are attracted to our decorative armor. However, try to use that to your advantage. After frying that chicken, we should have something to feed our bird. We're gonna go in here and look for those kutku pieces. Notice that the food can have element and status points. We're gonna feed him some kutku pieces. Specifically these ones here that give +6 fire. When you look at a Halk's stats, when they have a 100 on an element, they will transform into a variation of their species that uses that element. My personal preference is the Fire Halk to the top right in this image. With that in mind, let's get the shells and feed our little bird here. He could only eat 3 pieces before he got full, so you'll have to wait till tomorrow to feed him. That is, unless you feed him something like Yace food, which reduces his hunger, which Navi does give you for feeding him the first time. Now for the final things we need to complete our journey through HR1. We're going to go to Hunter Quest, 1 star, and you'll see that there are quests with a yellow crest in the corner of them. These are your key quests. You have to complete all of your key quests to get an urgent quest, which is a special mission to allow you to go to the next rank. Our next goal is to get to HR2. And so, all the key quests must be completed. The first key quest we have in the line is another Velocidrome. Well, we know this one's gonna be easy. Alright, now we're actually out on the field. We're gonna go to the blue box first here. I recommend grabbing the map if it's your first time here, and the paintballs, because, well, free stuff. We're gonna go along the west side of the map and then go into the cave in Area 7. When I was making these videos, it occurred to me that a lot of newer players from the newer games don't realize what mining spots look like here. A crevice like this in the wall is actually a location where you can mine minerals out of the wall. So when at the workshop, when it mentioned mining in the jungle, it meant bringing a pickaxe and mining from a crack in the wall like that. Oh shoot, that Velocidrome's so short I thought it was a normal one. And he is immediately KO'd and can't move. Returning to the square, we can see that this key quest is now complete with a red clear image right there. Next we gotta take on Bulldrome. Well, he got KO'd by a hammer. We all know how this ends. Honestly, your first fights in Frontier will be extremely easy. The difficulty will jump in spikes later though. Next on the list is our chicken friend, the Kutku, once again. If at the start of the quest you quickly climb up into Area 5, you can get in position and place a trap in just the right spot. Oh, here he comes. And I was off by like an inch, of course. Not that it matters too much. Thankfully, he's not that smart. And he is to be tenderized. Now you see, a lot of early monsters in Frontier from Hunter rank 1 to 4 have actually been nerfed from their original strength. The game got really compressed at the G9 update. Unfortunately, this saw a lot of content getting not only removed from the game, but kind of revamped. And not in a good way. They even removed chunks of the game's story at that point. Next up is Kongalala. Watch out, this one's claw attack is very strong. However, just like many of the others, he is not immune to traps and flash bombs. I will also be taking advantage of a gun lance in this fight. It's too hard to hit his head because of how small it is, and I'd rather just shoot him anywhere than try to target. So, back to the compression issue. A lot of things you'll find are old systems mentioned that are no longer in use, or you'll find like remnants of old equipment that was required for those systems that is no longer existent. Examples like this is Sky Corridor, if you heard about it. Unfortunately, the whole Sky Corridor system got traded out for Hunting Road later in the game. But that's a story for another time. We're going to focus on the here and now. And right now, I am laughing at how that thing just barrel-rolled for getting its hand on fire. But why stop at just his hand? Let's fix that. Alright, with the monkey deep fried, next up is the crab. Keep in mind that pitfall traps and flash bombs do not work on crabs. However, shock traps do, and this one in particular is weak to sonic bombs whenever he does his shielding. Watch out, he has a ranged attack too. And that pose right there is shielding, use a sonic bomb. After the sonic bomb hits him, he'll be stunned and not moving. Feel free to attack him this whole time. Remember, he will chase you, and you can lead him onto the shock trap as well. Avoid getting clapped by his claws, and he should go down no problem, especially with a gun lance piercing through all of his armor. And now the final key quest, Hypnoc, which will be in the Great Forest Area 5. I recommend entering through Area 7, that way you can sneak behind him and place a trap like this. You know what time it is. Tenderizing. You know, unless I miss. There we go. Remember to have your flash bombs handy and throw them in the direction his face is. Hypnoc is very weak to flash bombs and will stay in one place often. Just watch out for the tail swings. This gives opportunities, like placing another trap under him like this, which in my case makes him stay still long enough to KO him again. And if he tries to escape, you can throw a flash bomb to knock him back out of the air. Combine all these tricks and the monster should go down without a hitch. That should take care of all of our key quests now, which means the only thing remaining is the urgent quest to go to the next rank. Alright, to the bottom left you can see the red text saying there's an urgent quest available. You can also see a red exclamation mark above Eunice's head over there. Your first urgent quest will be Abiorugu, a large brute wyvern similar to many others, but for low rank, he doesn't even have half of his moveset, so he should still be a somewhat easy fight. Just watch out for his roars and quakes. They'll hold you still and then he'll just cut you up. Thankfully, this guy isn't too bright and you can use many different tactics against him. I'm going to be bringing traps, flash bombs, poisoned meats, and combination books along with materials to make more traps. This should make the fight a breeze. Keep in mind though that every single meat trap you use only works once and then it gains immunity to eating the same food. On the chance you don't know the combination to make traps, you use a trap tool and a net to make a pitfall trap. And using the combo books increases your percentage of success when combining materials. And finally, the last hurdle in HR1, the urgent quest, Abiorugu. Have food and items ready. I will be using Hammer to tactically keep him immobilized in this quest, but keep in mind his head is very small. The first thing you want to do is head north. Abio always starts in the furthest north area in the swamp. In this forested patch here, we're going to set a trap because Abio always heads south from the northern field. We're going to place a pitfall trap over here where he will come in. Don't worry, exact placement doesn't matter. We're going to bait him into it anyway. Speaking of bait, we're going to place some meat traps around. I'm going to put a sleep one over there, a poison one here, and a paralysis one finally over there. Now we just got to wait for Birthday Boy to show up to get his gifts. Just going to fill some stamina real quick. He should be here any moment. Oh, shoot. But it's okay. I'm so far away, his roar doesn't affect me, because if I was closer, I would be stunned. We gotta lead him into the trap as soon as possible. Like that. Next, we have to hit his head to try to KO him. There we go, there we go. Now he is both stunned and trapped. Now try to just beat him up as much as you can before he escapes. Maybe you'll even get another KO on him before he escapes. If you have a friend hunting with you, it should be much easier to KO him if you're both using hammer. Just be careful of friendly fire. Now I am going to quickly combine another trap using the net and the trap tool I mentioned earlier. It's 100% because I have all 5 combo books. And let's just set him another little present. If you open your gestures menu and then use the call over gesture, it actually tells NPCs to come to your location so that you can tell them to stay with you. This is great for setting traps. Oh shoot, he's going for the meat instead. Let him eat it, finish his snack, don't KO him or flinch him out of it. And now he is paralyzed, and now you beat him up. Let's see if we can KO him again while he can't even move. Okay, he moves a little bit. See how when I'm hitting his head right now, there's no yellow stun indication? That means he's already KO'd. There we go. When a monster is paralyzed, and then you're hitting its head with an impact weapon, and you don't see the yellow impact effect from KO damage, that means he's going to fall over KO'd afterward. Keep in mind, if you try to KO a monster inside a shock trap, he actually will escape the trap, fall over KO'd, unlike the pitfall trap where they stay in. Another tip for team coordination is if someone cuts the tail while a monster is KO'd, it also escapes to KO. Whoa! Okay. Forgot he could jump that far. Anyway, as I was saying, tail cuts can actually ruin any trap or KO setup unintentionally because it makes the monsters escape them all. So good team coordination is required when locking a monster into a set of traps. Don't underestimate his jump distance. I learned a long time ago he can actually jump all the way across the map, like further than any other brute wyvern in any other game. Well, maybe except Brachydios. Brachydios can jump pretty dang far. Next, I'm going to try to blind him so he doesn't move as much. I'm trying to predict where his head will be and where his eyes will be so I can blind him. You see, you have to be more exact in this game. In newer games, they let you practically blind something from behind its head. Let's try a shock trap here. That way we can hold him still again. Oh, never mind. He's almost dead. He's trying to run back to the north field. It's time to finish him now. Let's try to blind him. Oh, shoot. Watch out. That's a rock attack. Now, watch how I angle this flash bomb. I threw it behind me because if I threw it in front of me, it would have hit behind him and he wouldn't have been blinded. Careful, he can still attack and cause quakes and roar while blinded. It does keep him still though. And with the final uppercut, the beast is defeated. And HR1 is completed. You are now officially Hunter Rank 2. Going through this hunt, we combined everything we learned. We didn't just participate in the hunt, we controlled the hunt and the monster in it. A huge part of knowing how to hunt a dangerous target in this game is knowing your target and turning its strengths into its weakness. We're not supposed to play fair. Or a better example, you don't arm wrestle with a gorilla and expect to win. You can, however, outsmart a gorilla. Alright, what we got here? Ooh, nice items. Let's see. Yes, Abio blood. Abio blood is a rare item. I can use that for a weapon I want to make later. And here it is. We are officially rank 2. And oh boy, do I have some things to cover in the next video here. But that's for the next video. For now, we have completed HR1, and I hope this guide will help you and your friends succeed. Next time we'll be covering HR2. Happy hunting.